Hey, and welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into a really significant topic that's buzzing in Thailand. The whole debate around legalizing casinos. Is it this huge economic game changer waiting to happen? Or, does it come with some pretty serious social risks that maybe outweigh the benefits? So our mission here is to really unpack both sides, looking directly at what our source material says so you get a clear picture.
Yeah, and what's really interesting, I think, is how this isn't just about casinos themselves. It touches on these much bigger questions of economic development, social welfare, and, well, how to manage a trend that's, frankly, global now. It really impacts everyday life and national policy directly.
Okay, so let's start with the shiny side, the promise. Proponents, based on our sources, see this massive potential, like a huge magnet for high-value tourism dollars.
Right. And they're not just talking about any tourists. The focus seems to be strongly on IC tourism. That's meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. Think big corporate events.
Ah, so aiming for that steady, kind of high-spending crowd, not just casual gamblers.
Exactly. The idea, drawing from places like Singapore, is that these integrated resorts, not just casinos alone, really boost that specific high-value market segment.
Okay, so MIC tourism is one angle.
Yeah.
But there's another big economic piece mentioned, isn't there? Something about existing money flows.
Yes, absolutely. A key argument is capturing the money that's already being spent. We're talking possibly tens of billions, apparently, flowing out of the country right now through, illegal or underground gambling channels.
So bring it into the light, basically.
Yeah.
Regulate it, tax it.
Precisely. Formalize it. And that potential tax revenue is huge. The argument is that money, maybe billions, could then be funneled into public good.
Like what, specifically?
Well, things like infrastructure projects, maybe boosting education budgets, expanding healthcare access, plus creating potentially thousands of actual formal jobs in the process. So moving funds from the shadows, as they say, to public benefit.
Okay. That sounds, well, pretty compelling from an economic standpoint. But of course, there's the other side of the coin, the social concerns. And these seem pretty significant, too.
They really are. Critics highlighted in the sources voice some deep fears. Primarily, a potential surge in gambling addiction among Thai citizens themselves.
Which leads to debt, family problems, the usual devastating consequences we hear about.
Exactly. Widespread debt, potential family breakdowns, rising social issues. It's a very serious counterpoint. And it's not just personal addiction, is it?
No, the sources point beyond that, too. Worries about related crime.
That's right. Concerns about increases in things like illegal loan sharking, maybe money laundering activities, even theft. There's a fear that without really strong controls, these places could become magnets for, let's say, less desirable elements.
So that's the challenge laid bare. Big potential upside, big potential downside. But do the sources suggest how proponents aim to manage these risks? Are there concrete plans?
Yes, they definitely address it. They're not ignoring the risks, or at least the sources suggest they aren't. The argument is that success really hinges on a very carefully designed regulatory framework. They often point to Singapore as a kind of model.
Okay, so what does that framework look like, ideally?
Well, key elements seem to be an independent regulatory body, something with real power, real teeth for investigation, strong anti-money laundering rules, real-time financial tracking, not just issuing licenses.
And what about protecting locals? Preventing that surge in addiction?
Strict entry controls for Thai citizens are proposed. Maybe high entry fees, perhaps limits on how often people can visit, similar, again, to Singapore's levy system for locals.
Right, making it harder or more costly for locals to just casually gamble. And beyond controlling entry, what about helping people who might develop problems?
Yeah.
The human cost.
Absolutely crucial. The sources suggest dedicating a significant slice of the casino revenue to a dedicated social fund. And this isn't just a vague promise. It means funding public education campaigns about gambling risks.
Okay, prevention.
And importantly, setting up fully funded, accessible counseling and rehabilitation centers for addiction. It's presented as a kind of dual approach. Open the door, but also build the safety net right alongside it.
So wrapping this up then, what does this all mean for you listening? Our source material really frames this whole thing as a two-edged sword, doesn't it? It's not a simple yes or no. It seems to be all about the design, how to get those benefits while rigorously controlling the harms.
Yeah, and if you connect it to the bigger picture, the fundamental challenge here for Thailand or any society thinking about this, it isn't just whether to legalize. It's about how effectively you can actually design and, crucially, enforce really robust rules. Which does raise that important question. What kind of framework really ensures that knowledge, maybe learned from other places, is applied wisely? with integrity.
So think about that balance, this huge societal challenge of weighing economic dreams against essential social protections, and how critical those well-designed regulations and the actual oversight are. What stands out to YU as the biggest hurdle they face, or maybe the greatest potential, if they manage to get that design just right? Something to consider.